Frugal babes, frugal bobs, tonight is the night, y'all. Tonight we unveil the 2022 debt tracker. Alright guys, if you're new to this channel, I'm Helen Kerins, the Frugal Mom, and I have been tracking my debt for a very long time. Am I out of debt? Absolutely not, but I continue to track, and I'll tell you why. I track my debt because when I can see my trends, when I can see when I'm spending a little bit too much, when I can see my debt moving in the right direction, numbers motivate me. And so when I track, I see numbers every month, right? There are people that have a ton of debt and are not aware of how the debt is growing. They're not aware of how the interest is affecting them. And you know, that sucks, right? It just sucks to live that way. So I like to track because I want to know what is going on with my debt. And so I have always tracked on my computer, and then a few years ago I started tracking in a notebook, and then that led to me creating a debt tracker, and we are at the 3rd year, if I'm not mistaken, of my debt tracker. So we're about to talk about this bad boy, so get ready, get inspired, let's do this. Okay friends, so you will notice that the tracker has the same cover from last year. If you got the spiral bound last year, it is the same exact cover. Life has been crazy, guys, so we just kept the cover the same, okay? For those of you that have been tracking in the binder, you should still have your binder from last year. The cool thing is that if you purchased a binder last year, you will be able to just purchase the inserts at a discounted price. So if you've got the binder and you want the inserts, reach out to me, okay? Something else that is a little different from last year. Last year I tried making the tracker different sizes, like a small, what is it, 5.5 by something, I don't even know. Tried making a small one, and then I did the binder and I did the spiral bound, and it was great, but yo, inflation is real, and to do all of those different specs and variations, it just wasn't in my budget. So we didn't do it, okay? But we still did the debt tracker, and we did a full-size version of it. And to be honest, I don't know, I like the full-size version just because I like seeing the pages really, really big. So let's do the flip through. Y'all already know, this is what guides me. You gotta know, you gotta track, and you got to work toward eliminating. Those are the 3 basic principles that I set my debt tracker upon. This is what I remind myself every single week or every month when I'm diving into this book. I need to know my debt, right? I need to track my debt, and eventually I will eliminate my debt. So this is how the debt tracker starts, really, really simple. Now we've got the opening page. I changed the layout a little bit. So if you're looking, you will see that the instructions are very, very, very simple, right? We've got a focus finder, we've got a debt tracker, we've got an expense tracker, a budget planner, and a savings tracker. And of course, as always, we've got our pre and post snapshots. The focus finder. I completely changed the layout because new me, new tracker, new year, new everything, right? I don't know if you've noticed a change, but I have lost 35 pounds. Thank you very much. We're trying to lose a few more. I've been a little plateaued, and it's the holidays, y'all. So the focus finder, let's talk about it. So in the focus finder, you'll be able to, of course, write your month. You'll be able to list your goals, and I put, you know, a few bullet points there so that, you know, if you've got more than 3 goals, more than 5 goals, and you can list as many as you want. I always like to just do like 3 goals per month, but everybody is different. Some people crush their goals quicker than others and they want to add more, so that is up to you. I always like to leave room for an inspirational quote because I think it's important to have some type of mantra, some type of verse, some type of wording that really like helps you to be set up for success, whether it is a Bible verse or whether it is a Pinterest inspirational quote, whatever it is, you pick it. Whether it is the Nike logo, just do it. You pick whatever inspires you. You write it there for the month to help you stay focused. Then we have an action plan. You're going to take a moment to write out a few sentences as to what your action plan is going to be to hopefully tackle and crush the goals that you have just listed, and an action plan of how you're going to dive into your debt this month. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to research about debt? Are you going to just try to get organized with your debt? Whatever your action plan is, y'all, you just write it in that little spot. And then, of course, I'm really big on reflection. You have got to reflect. If you do not practice reflection, you're not winning. Just putting it out there, okay? So, of course, you've got a little blurb for reflection. You can just write how you reflected about the previous month or however you want to tackle it, but it is important to reflect. Right on the next page, side to side, we've got the debt tracker. This is where you list your creditors. This is where you list where the debt ended on the previous month and where it is starting on the current month. And then the plus and minus column is where you will write down how the debt changed. Did the debt go up? Did the debt go down? And when you see that column, hopefully we'll see more negative signs than plus signs, but life happens and sometimes the debt will go up, but at least you get to see it. And of course, you get to total everything on the bottom. The monthly calendar. So I was a little torn on the calendar because last year I incorporated a calendar in my debt tracker and I started using it, and then I was like, I don't want to use this. I like writing in a calendar, but I didn't like the layout of the calendar that I had. So we just spread the calendar out across 2 pages. We made it bigger. Okay, and by we, like I have a team of people. I made it bigger. So you've got your calendar. You can set up your days. You can write them in, or you can get one of those little like monthly like sticker books. You can put the numbered stickers in, however you want to do it. And then, of course, I left a column at the end open for notes because sometimes you want to write some notes and you want to have space to do it, okay? Now we've got the expense tracker. This is what kills me, y'all, because I am a digital spender. I have tried to be a cash spender. Certain areas I can be a cash spender, like with gas and whatnot, but everything else I'm digital. And sometimes it is bad because we swipe and swipe and swipe, and then I don't write down my expenses, and then by the time I get to it, I run out of space because I am mindlessly swiping my debit card and I'm not realizing that I'm spending more than I should be spending. So the expense tracker is really important to me because I have to interact with these 2 pages on a daily basis. I have to ensure that I end my day every day with my expense tracker, writing in all of the expenses that I did for the day, and then really tracking my trends because, like I said, you will mindlessly swipe. Even if it is a debit card, you'll be swiping, 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 and be like, did I really just spend that much money in one day? Okay. You will also notice that the layout is still the same. You've got the date column, the description column, the total column, and the NW. If you don't know what the NW column is, that is the need versus wants. So every time you write out an expense, let's say you got gas in your car, you will write that out and then you will put an N because that's a need. You need gas in your car. But if you drove past McDonald's and you got yourself a coffee or something, that is a want. So you will put a W. And then if you look on the second page, at the end of the page, you will notice that now I've added something new. I've put total number of expenses. You're going to count every single line. And if you have used, let's say, 20 lines, you will write 20 in total number of expenses. And then you're going to do the percentage of needs versus wants. So let's say that you had 10 out of those 20 expenses were needs and the other 10 were wants. So in terms of percentage, that means that you were at 50% needs and 50% wants. The goal is that your percentage would be much higher in the needs category and much lower in the wants categories. Let's say that at the end of the month, you were at like 80% wants and 20% needs. Then that should guide your thinking for the next month and be like, y'all gotta flip that. I gotta bring those wants down and bring those needs up. The budget planner, y'all. Okay, so I totally changed the layout. My last budget planner, I felt that the fields were a little bit too small. I felt that there were boxes that I wasn't using. So I kept it really, really open and really, really minimal in terms of the design. So on the left, you will see that you have a line to write in your month. Then you have your income sources. You can list how you get income, whether it's from yourself, you and a spouse, you and a side hustle, whatever, you list it there. And then I've been wanting to change how I budget in terms of like projection, but y'all, it works for me. So I kept it. So I added my projected income and then my projected expenses. And then after that, once you get through the month, you will see what your actual expenses were. And then you can kind of say, oh, well, what I projected was on target, or what I projected was completely, you know, like it just didn't work out. So I've got to project a little bit more, whatever. I like projections because it just guides my thinking. It just works for me, whatever. I left the whole section for notes because, you know, I like to doodle. I like to have like a little scratch pad when I'm writing my bills. And sometimes I'll use a different notebook and a loose piece of paper, and then everything gets lost. But if I can just have my scratch pad right in front of me in the notes section, then I think I'm going to be winning, okay? And then you look on the right, and I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas of expenses. On the side column, you can write in what it is. So if like it's your home expenses, then in that box you will put your rent or your mortgage, your utilities, whatever it is that you have to spend on to ensure that your house is functioning the way that it needs to function for the month. Maybe in the next box you can write transportation. Maybe that's where your Easy Pass goes, where your gas expenses go, a sinking fund for your car. I don't know if you want to put it as like your monthly budget, but people do sinking funds. I haven't done them yet, but I'm trying, okay? And then of course you can just fill in your other boxes if you've got like miscellaneous expenses, or if you've got school expenses, or if you are, I don't know, if you've got a lot of debt, then maybe one of those boxes just solely for debt, student loans, credit cards, car note, whatever it is, you can set it up how you want. And of course, there's always a note section on the side. One thing that I will say, for me, this setup is really, really perfect because I don't have that many expenses anymore. But if you're someone that has a lot of debt or a lot of expenses, I would love to hear from you. Do you feel that I have given you enough space on this budget planner? Do you feel that I should have had 2 pages or 4 pages of budget planner? I don't know. But everybody's different. I would love to hear your suggestions in the comment section. I added a savings tracker, guys. Yes, because in 2022, I really want to make savings a priority. As much as I don't want to admit it, I'm getting older, y'all, even though I don't look it. Mama is 43, going on 44, and the reality is that I need to save for retirement, and I need to ensure that if something were to happen to me, that my family is taken care of. So savings is going to be a priority in 2022. So again, you can write out the month, you can write out what your savings goals are, and then I put like a little bit of a tracker. You can write down specifically what you're saving for. Are you saving for new tires? Write it out. Are you saving for a vacation? Write it out. This could be where you put your sinking funds, okay? So I put the projected, like for this month, let's say I want to save $50 for my tires. And then in the actual column, let's say I got a little extra money and I actually saved $75. So I would put 75 in the actual column. And then I will total up what all my projected savings amounts were, and then what all my actual savings amounts were. And then hopefully at the end of the year, I can review all of my savings trackers and hopefully celebrate because I have reached a goal. And then of course, the last page, You did it. And I am reminding you that you have to know your debt, you have to track your debt, and you have to eliminate your debt. And then of course, wash, rinse, and repeat. You repeat the debt tracker over and over again for 12 months until you get to the very end. So let's talk about the end. All right, guys, we're at the end of the tracker, the snapshot trackers and the comparison charts. To me, this is such an important part of the tracking journey because it's important to see how you start the year and it's important to see how you end the year, which if you're interested, you should totally stay connected to this channel because in January, I will be doing my pre and post snapshots as to how I did in 2021. I'm a little nervous because it's been a weird year for me, but we're still doing it, okay? All right, so the pre-tracker snapshots. This is where you start the year. In January, you will write out all of your debt. You will write out the APRs, the minimum payments, and the balance. You will total that up, and that will give you an idea of how much debt you actually have. At the end of the year, in December or in the next January, once you have fully completed the year, you will fill out the post-tracker snapshot. Again, write out whatever debt you have left, your APRs, the minimum payments, and the balance that is left. I also have a pre-debt to income ratio snapshot and a post. If you want to know what your debt to income ratio is, just follow the worksheet, right? You will put in what your monthly income is. You will total all of that up. You will put what your monthly debt payments are. You will total all of that up. And then you will do the formula, which is your total debt divided by your total income. And that will tell you what your DTI percentage is. It's really cool to do this at the beginning of the year and then to do it again at the end of the year to see how your DTI has changed. And if you are interested in buying a house or any type of big purchase, they're going to be looking at your DTI. So the higher it is, they probably not going to lend you the money. The lower it is, they probably going to lend you the money, okay? Lower DTI, that's what you want. And then of course the comparison chart. This is where you take all of your totals from your pre-tracker snapshot and all of your totals from your post-tracker snapshot. You put it on one page and then you can see how you have tackled your debt within a 12-month range. To me, this is like the best sheet because it just gives me a snapshot of how I did in 12 months. And I can kind of just look at it and say, I did well, or I could do better. So that's it, guys. The 2022 debt tracker. I have simplified it. I have made it a bit more minimal. I like the new design. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to track with you. If you're interested in purchasing your own copy, please email me. I will put all of my information down in the description box. I am excited to track with you. Also, before I forget, I also have a Facebook group if you want to be a part of that group. I haven't been as active as I want to be in that group, but I will try my best to be more active. This is where we just encourage each other, where we post our success, where we post our challenges and all of that stuff. And sometimes I'll post articles or inspirational quotes to help people along the way. And it is just a really, really fun community that I'm trying to build up on Facebook. So if you want to be a part of that, again, the information will be down in the description below. Thank you so much. If you have hung out this far, y'all, please consider smashing that like button. Consider sharing this video. Consider commenting below, telling me how cute I am with my little burgundy hair that's finally starting to grow. Because, y'all, this pixie getting on my nerves. But it is what it is. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. See you on the next one.